Is Allah Yahweh? Do you have any idea about this name? Is it not strange that the Abrahamic God, the biblical God, is known as Yahweh because that is his name according to the tradition, according to the text, according to the beliefs. But yet Islam is completely unfamiliar with this name. You are completely lost when it comes to this name. And you should be aware of this name because the Quran itself contains figures like John or Jesus or Elijah whose names praise Yahweh. And according to the Quran itself, Allah gave some of those names. So Yahweh was very important. But you don't know who Yahweh is and what Yahweh is. What is all that about?
Yeah, we know who Yahweh is. This is Yahweh. Yahweh is a pagan god. Did you know that? Yes. The reason why Islam or the Prophet Muhammad or the Quran doesn't mention Yahweh as the name of God, because Yahweh is not the name of God. Yahweh is actually the name of an Edomite, a Median pagan storm and warrior god. In other words, it's the name of a false god. If you read the Quran, you know that the Quran is heavily and strictly against any kind of paganism. So the reason why, we know who Yahweh is. Yahweh is a pagan god. So it makes sense that Islam, the Quran, or the Prophet Muhammad would never say that name, because Islam, the Quran, and the Prophet Muhammad are strictly against paganism. So yeah, apostate prophet, this is Yahweh. We know what Yahweh is. So getting to why the Quran mentions, names like John, Elijah, etc. Well, if you read the Gospel of Luke, chapter 1, verse 61, it says that the Jews named their children after their ancestors and tribes. See Barnes' notes on the Bible on Luke, chapter 1, verse 61. So, of course, apostate prophet doesn't know any of this because he's ignorant and he's talking out of his ass. Allah gave the names Jesus, John the Baptist, and Elijah because they were named after the Israelites' righteous ancestors who had Yahweh in their name. Thus, the Quran is not endorsing the name of Yahweh. So this is Yahweh, a pagan god. Is that Yahweh was not the original name of God. If we read the Hebrew of Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, we see God's name was originally Elohim. I'll get into this in the next slide. The Hebrew name for God used in Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 is Elohim, which translated into English is Elohim. You can see the Hebrew word right up there. Hebrew, or the Hebrew word used in Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 to describe God is Elohim. Now, if you translate Elohim into Arabic, it is Allah. So Allah is closer to the Hebrew word Elohim than Yahweh is to the Hebrew word Elohim. If you read Genesis chapter 1 verse 1 in Arabic, it says, in the beginning Allah created the heavens and the earth, because Allah is closer to the original Hebrew word used in Genesis chapter 1 verse 1, which is Elohim. Other verses where Elohim or Elohah is used as the name of God in Hebrew text would be, and this is just a short list. Elohim and Elohah are scattered. The Hebrew names Elohim and Elohah are scattered all over the Old Testament. But these are just some of the verses I came up with. It's Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 33. The Hebrew word Elohim is used. Genesis chapter 28 verse 20. Elohim is used. Exodus chapter 13 verse 17. Elohim is used, not Yahweh. Numbers chapter 22 verse 20, Elohim is used. Genesis chapter 50 verse 25, Elohim is used. Deuteronomy chapter 32 verse 15, Elohim and Elohah is used. Job chapter 12 verse 6, the Hebrew name Elohah is used as opposed to Yahweh. God's name becomes Yahweh in God's name becomes Yahweh in Exodus chapter 3 verse 16. However, whoever wrote the Bible was influenced by pagan sources, as Yahweh was originally a pagan deity, which I'll get into right now. We know this by the following facts and scholarly books on the Bible or the origins of the Bible. During the Exodus out of Egypt, Israel had to pass by the nations of Edom and Midian on their way to the Promised Land, which is Canaan. During their 40 years in the wilderness, as they fashioned a new religion, Israel was possibly influenced by Elohim's and Midian's religious beliefs. God's name in the Old Testament is transliterated from the Hebrew as Yahweh, probably meaning I am, in Exodus chapter 3, verse 13 to 14. There is an obscure reference in a 13th century BC Egyptian document to a region in Edom associated with JWH, possibly indicating that JWH was a national god of Edom. Yahweh is linked to the god of Edom because of his localized actions. We see this in the following biblical verses. Habakkuk chapter 3 verse 3, Judges chapter 5 verse 4 to 5, and Deuteronomy chapter 33 verse 2. You can read the text on the slide. So according to the book, I did some further research on the name Yahweh, and according to the book God and Anatomy by Dr. Francisca S. I cannot say that last name. The Israelites originally worshipped a god named El. Yahweh was a minor storm deity. Yahweh had a body, a wife, and other offspring. Yahweh's ex-wife is Asherah on page 148. There are hints at some early references looking at or seeking God's face in Psalm chapter 27, verse 8, involving worship of an actual statue depicting Yahweh. And on another issue is that nowhere does Yahweh appear in the Greek New Testament manuscripts. In the New Testament, page 314, she states. Another point is there's a really good book that came out, I think, back in 2016 or something like that, called The Invention of God by Thomas Rohr. Now, this person actually proves that Yahweh was actually a pre-Mosaic pagan deity, from an ancient tribe called Midian. So basically, Yahweh was a pagan deity who, get this, actually had a wife. So Yahweh was a name of a pagan god, that had nothing to do with the Jews or the Israelites. In fact, the biblical authors stole that name Yahweh, as you can see in the map there, when they left Egypt and went to the Midian. They took that name Yahweh from a local pagan god, Yahoo. Yahoo eventually became the name Yahweh.